What's up, YouTube? Today, we're going to do a tour of my lab. It's a mess. I'm sorry, but it is. And the reason why it's a mess, and I said it before, we're preparing to move. We're trying to get out of here and move to a bigger location, a bigger home, and stuff like that. But I just want to kind of show you what I've done here and what I have not done and why I haven't done it, and maybe give you a quick preview of some of the gear I use, but not all of the gear, because a lot of the gear I have is in storage. A lot of the gear is still in boxes, and I refuse to unpack it. I'm not going to unpack it because it makes no sense to when there's no room for it, and we'll be moving soon, and then I'm going to have to repack it again. So yeah, we're not going to do that one. But yeah, so what we're gonna do is get started, and I'm gonna take you on a quick walk around in my lab. And if you got any questions about what I have or where I got it or whatever, as usual, just put it in the comments below, and then we'll go from there. So okay, so let's turn the camera around and get started, I guess. Okay, so let me stand. All right, so these are my monitors that I use. Actually, they're TV monitors. They're both 32 inches. You know, I use those. Nice stand. It's dual monitor arm. Actually, this one's too short for these. My wife ordered it, and she didn't realize that, she didn't take into account the width of the TVs, you know. But it worked. I made them work. I'm going to order a bigger arm, and we'll probably use those doubles for something else. So anyway, coming over here, this is my Behringer. Here, let's get a good look at that. This is my Behringer 2442. And basically, it works the same as an audio interface. It could do digital and analog, and you can plug it in to your computer, and it will work as a interface, meaning that you can use all these mic outputs for your bands, your singers, or whatever you want to do, and it can record to your DAW. It does come with a download software for a DAW that comes with it that's proprietary to, I think, Behringer, and I want to say Behringer and Mackie. Or it might be Behringer and Yamaha, but they have a software that they use, and it's a DAW where you can record, you know, just like in a regular DAW, each channel, each whatever, you know, that you use. So yeah, it comes with that. These are some of my headphones piled up over here. I got 8 AKGs, and these are my Tascams. I usually have these hung up. Now, this is the beast right here, the Apollo Twin USB. Apollo has a lot of different versions of their Apollo. If you're limited on space, I would suggest just getting this and using this. I'm thinking about retiring this one for a while, and I might use this for like a bedroom studio and just use this for a main interface, you know, for things that I'm doing. This was cool when I was just doing small stuff with myself, and you know, I could plug in one mic input and go from there. Now, Universal Audio does allow you the functionality of, you know, expanding your mic outputs. I think up to 4 or 5 with this one. And then they have, you know, a couple of more versions out there, and they have one that also runs off of Firewire and Thunderbolt and stuff like that. This is my Tascam, one of my babies. I love it. If again you're limited on space, and you know, you may not have all the monitoring and all in the softwares, this would be a good thing to use. All you have to do, it has inputs in the back, and you can separate your channels and mute your channels. It does its own mastering, and you can master in it. You can do your mix downs in it. You can do everything inside of this unit. If you're doing places like churches, bands, and different things like that, and you want to, you know, get that recording quality done, you want to bump it down to a WAV or MP3, this is what you could do it on. The only thing you have to do is interface it to a computer to slide the wave or the file over, or you put a memory card in the back of it and you save everything to the memory card, and then you could take the memory card or USB and do whatever you want to do with it. But yeah, this is my favorite toy here that I use quite a bit. Coming over here, this is my Novation 49 keyboard. Very basic keyboard, but it works very well as a MIDI keyboard for your DAW. So like if you download for your plugins in your DAW. So if you have cool plugins for keyboard sounds, bass guitars, drums, it has pads, so you can play your pads, you can play your chords and keys. You know, it's a good MIDI controller for that. And I did a show already about the Atoms. So these are my Atoms. This is what I typically do my mix downs on most of the time. You know, they're very good quality speakers. They don't have a huge bass response, but they are very, very good. And I'm learning that the bass response can trick you on these sometimes. So, you know, but good highs and mids and a decent bass response. You know, it doesn't really get into those low rumbles like I would like it to, but hey, it is what it is. And then, of course, my Krk Rockets, you know, I did a thing on that. You see, I got to replace a tweeter in here and stuff like that. They do sell those, so I'm going to replace those. I'm not going to get rid of them. I do have the upgraded versions of these. I just haven't unboxed them because why? And this is a stand. I did a video on this stand and how I built it and all of that good stuff. Oh, I'm glad I mentioned stands. You see this stand that my Atoms are on? I'm going to put a link up soon about these stands. These stands run average about $80 to $90, and they are crap. Do not buy them. They advertise them as aluminum, and they're not. They're some type of alloy that, hey, the base of them, if you can see, the base of them right where it crosses right there, it always snaps, or in the core of the tubing alone, meaning this tube down here at the bottom where it meets the base, they have a solder in there of a little round plate, and you screw the bottom bracket here, the little triangle, you screw it in with a bolt. And what happens is inside of this tubing, there's a little core, and it breaks loose. And it will start having your stuff teeter. And I almost lost my expensive Atoms because of that. It almost hit the floor and fell. So, yeah, they're not worth the money. Don't buy them. If you see them online, they're absolute friggin' garbage. And I'm going to write the owners about this because they're horrible. All right, moving on over here. There's another Tascam. This is the one that came out before the one I just showed you. And it primarily does the same thing. It does the same thing as this one. It's just a smaller version of it. I've taken it out in the field to record shows, do churches, you know, the pastor, the bands, you know, everything was laid in there. I was able to bump it down as an MP3 or a WAV and get it out to processing so they can duplicate CDs. It's a very awesome unit, and it's all in one. You can do a lot of things. And now this one doesn't do a whole lot of mastering and stuff like that. This one does mastering. You can master in it, record in it. You can do all those cool things in it. Down there is just like my mics and different stuff and cases that I use. Everything here on the wall is all stuff that I purchased over time, and I actually use this stuff on my wall because it's kind of a sound insulator right now, because I wasn't trying to insulate, you know, the walls and everything like that because we're moving. And this is my book that's out. If you haven't got it, please get it. That's my book. It's out right now if you're into house and dance music, and it talks about the history of house. It's kind of like an encyclopedia or a coffee table book or something like that, you know, where you can flip through it. And if you come from that nostalgic area, you know, era, am I saying that right? Then you'll know. This was one of the concerts I've done, Love Fest and stuff like that. Right over here, I got a bunch of other posters and stuff. If you can see them buried behind there of other shows and concerts that I did that I haven't got the, what do you call it? The frames for to hang up on the wall. You know, I got probably about 30 of them over there that I haven't hung yet. This is one of my Serato boxes. That's the SL2. And this is, I did a review on this GoPro too, which I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but we're going to talk about that soon. And this is my Presonus interface that works pretty much the same as the UAD, but not quite. All right, but it works pretty good. If you're limited in space, those interfaces are the way to go. This is my buddy in his book, Marshall Jefferson. Marshall Jefferson is a close friend of mine, real good friend of mine, and he did the house music anthem. He produced the house music anthem called Move Your Body, Sexy Body Shall Rock Your Body. So if you know that song, just look up Move Your Body, Marshall Jefferson. The vocalist behind that is a guy named Curtis McLean. Curtis McLean is the vocal of Move Your Body. Marshall Jefferson is the producer and DJ of Move Your Body. And it is the official house music anthem globally all over the world. Going to my MPC. So this is my MPC. This is my baby. They have other versions. This is the one that came out before the MPC X. But if you guys know anything about MPC, then you know that this is the bomb. This is the bomb, and you should have it. You should have it. If you can find it and you get blessed enough to get it and keep it. Do not sell it. Take care of it. This is my little pad that I use, my little Novation Pad Launch Pad, and I use this for my Ableton. You know, when I'm doing mesh ups and stuff like that. I can also do it on this drum. And then I have another Akai. I have the Akai Fire, which it's around here. The Akai Fire is something else that I use. I am going to get the MPC X probably this week and have that coming, but I'm leaving it in the box. I'm doing that with my great friends from Sweetwater. So make sure you support Sweetwater. You know, they're a good place to order audio equipment from. You can, get a credit account. You can pay it on time, or you can pay it in broken payments. So different stuff like that. This is my workstation that I'm using strictly for streaming right now. This is for streaming. So I had to set this up because they want me to do radio shows now, and because the stations and everything are closed, we have to do everything from home. So, and there's only a couple of people now in the radio stations that are working, and they don't want a lot of people coming in and out because of COVID. So now we got to stream. So I'm doing a show called the Smokehouse Session. So look for that. It's going to start November 5th. I think I'm on Thursdays from 12 to 3. And I'm going to be featuring new music. I'm going to be featuring mixes, and we're going to have conversation about the music community and different things that's happening in the house and dance music community. And sometimes politics and other matters might come up as well. This is one of the cameras I use. I got a bunch of those laying around that we use. This is the Yamaha. This is the AG10XU. Let me see if we can get that's back in. The AG10, let's see if I can get out a light here. Yeah. The AG10XU is another audio interface, and you can plug it into your computer, and it works just like, the Presonus or the Foresight, they all work the same. This is also an interface. You can plug it into your computer. It's digital and analog, and this will work the same way. This, again, if you haven't seen it, trying to get the light. I don't know what's going on with my light. If you haven't seen it, this is the Behringer 2442. And it gives you a lot of mic outputs, as you can see, and inputs. I should say mic inputs and outputs in the back. And I'm thinking about retiring my UAD only because my UAD was good when I was doing smaller stuff at home and it was just me and maybe a couple of people, even though it does have the expandable capability through the DAW, but I kind of like the fact that I can just plug in, drop my mics in here, and give each one of them a channel, because this comes with its own software that you can download. I cannot think of the name of the software, but I think it's Behringer and Mackey. It's proprietary to Behringer and Mackey, where you can hook up your interface and it will communicate with the DAW that they sent you. But this can also be assigned if you have Presonus, if you have Ableton, if you have Fruity Loops. You can configure this to record into certain channels that you want it to. So it's not a big deal. But anyway, yeah, if you're limited on space, I always recommend something like that, or like the Presonus one over here. I would definitely recommend that for stuff like that. I got mixers buried all up under here, DJ mixers. Yeah, forgive my mess. It's a mess. One of my CD duplicators over there in the corner. I did a video on these lights over here. You could go down my YouTube timeline and you see how I did the little string lights that's sitting up under here. They're cool for effect and just chilling you out or whatever. I gave the pros and cons on that. If you still want to get them, you can. These are my Stantons. This is my digital Stanton. I like it because it records. I can record audio from a record, over to a DAW or, a computer or whatever, and save that music, if I want a vinyl sound or whatever. So it's cool for that. It's not a 12, but I like them. I love them. I have 12s. But this one, I don't know why I fell in love with Stanton, but I just did. This is, of course, tons of videos on this. Is my Denon MCX 8000. Done tons of videos on it. Tons and tons of videos on it that they have out already. So check them out. But I love it. It's constantly updating. I run the updates on it. And, they're getting to the point where you can control light sources, play in 2 different rooms. And it's just a lot of stuff you can do with this thing now. So, again, I'm a Denon fan. I did some videos, if you guys seen them already, on these units that I have in my rack. This is the dB meter that I use a lot when I'm DJing. It's adjustable for each, so you have an adjust right here. Trying to get the camera angle right. You got an adjust right here, and that handles this row. You got an adjust down here that handles the bottom row, and this one right here just changes the mode, how you like the lights to flash, or if you want them going across, or you want them, that's all that is. And that's my MP3 recorder. Check out the video on that. I did learn some more things that you can play audio out of this. So you got treble and bass and your volume. And you can play out, with those. And it has headphones and an MP3. So you can either plug your MP3 in and it can play out through speakers, or you can record into here. And good stuff like that. And this is just my power bank that I plug all my stuff into, kind of like my big power bank surge protector slash. I did do a video on this. Everybody was asking about this turntable. This is a classic turntable. If you can see that, this is the direct drive automatic SL, what is that? SLD3. And it's made by Technique. And what's cool, I could not, for whatever reason, YouTube would not let me upload the video to this. It would start and then it just wouldn't take the video. It wouldn't upload. But anyway, I did show the repairs on this, what I did to get it to start tracking and pitching, and how I fixed all the switches and cleaned them up. And this was a real cool part about this, was from 0 to here. So 0 means that the song will play once and it'll end. If you go here, well, it'll just play. If you go here, it'll play once, one more time, 2 more times, 3 more times, 4 more times, so on. And then this is kind of like infinity. It'll just keep playing till you stop it. And of course, these are your different speeds, you know, and stuff like that. And this was the power on. But I went through the whole thing of how I took this thing apart, what I did to get it going. I showed you the mechanisms in it. I'm going to still try and reload that video. Tell YouTube, hey, let him do this because we want to see it. This is some records I got back here, just that I use quite often in my control vinyl. That's one of my Orion speakers, and up underneath it is the unit that controls that. I use that to DJ with quite a bit, and you would be surprised out of the sound. They make different versions of this. They got a basic version, they got kind of a studio type version, and a cinematic version, and you would be surprised at the sound that comes out of it. I mean, room shaking sound out of these lightweight speakers. They feel like they're not even a pound. They're probably a few ounces, maybe like 5 or 6 ounces. I mean, they're not heavy at all. The heaviest thing that's closer to a pound would be the little sub there, and that might be maybe just about a pound, if, you know. So let's move on. So this is my vinyl cutter and stuff that we use when we're doing t-shirts and wraps and stuff like that. T-shirt press and all that good stuff. So if you're branding yourself, that's what you want to do. You want to get these things so you can make your own t-shirts. Another way to do it is do drop shipment. Try that out. That's another way, you know. I'm selling this if anybody's interested. Diamond amp. It's a kicker that goes in a car, not my shoe pads, you know, whatever. So anyway, selling that, you know. If you want it, inbox me. You got to pay for shipping. This stuff is heavy, so the shipping might be a little costly. This is kind of a catch-all table. My little mini fridge that I keep in here when we have people come over and they want water or something to drink, and then I got the drinks, I got the booze, yeah. But anyway, just stuff piled all over. As you can see, sometimes when you sit a long time, I go sit on this bike and I ride it and I work out, because sitting is the new death now. Don't sit so long, you know, it's killing people. This is like my little recording booth that I use right now. I have a bigger one that's huge that you're gonna see once I move. If you guys want me to do a video on me soundproofing the room and setting up the room for where we're moving to, let me know and I'll do a detailed video on that. And I did a review on the Chaotic Eyeball. I still say it's cool, but it's not worth what they're charging for it. It doesn't hold to the claims that they say it's holding to, that they claim, you know, oh, you can take this anywhere and it's going to isolate all of this noise. It's like having a portable recording booth with you all the time. It's absolutely not true. Check my video out on that. $39.99, $49.99. I can see paying for this thing. It's cool if you're kind of in a studio location that's already quiet already, but then at that point, what's the point in having this thing? But I do use it because it looks cool and it does isolate some things. I'm not saying that it does not do anything, because it's absolutely not true. But if you check out my video, you'll see, I'll show you on my control board, you know, the metering, and you know, we did different tests on it to see how it would sound this way, if it was picking up background noise, and just check the video out. Yeah. So coming over here, this is another one of the posters for, you know, one of the legends, Farley, and this was his 30th anniversary. And if you could see it real good, it's a whole bunch of signatures on there of DJs and producers that came out and that created the house music sound that came originally out of Chicago. So if you didn't know, the house music sound came out of Chicago. Techno came out of Chicago. Detroit picked up techno and just made it their thing, but techno came out of Chicago, and I'm friends with a lot of the guys that helped create the techno sound. This up here, you can see it. that came from President Barack Obama, actually, about the book I showed you at the beginning of the video. And he was thanking me, you know, for the book and how much he enjoyed it, because he's a huge dance and house music fan. If you guys don't know, he is. That's one of my duplicators there. I'm a Superman fan, as you can see, and I like nostalgic stuff. You see my little record box, lunch box, and I got another one there, you know, bongos and stuff. That's another concert poster that I hung. I was gonna hang, like I said, I got a whole bunch of them in that corner that need to be hung, but I said, I'm moving. When I move, I'll get the frames and I'll line them up. I keep a lot of my boxes because, one, it helps to repack stuff. Two, it also is good sound deflection, where I don't have to put up a lot of stuff on the wall. It actually deflects a lot of sound. I didn't acoustically treat this room, as you can see, because why? You know, we're moving and every room is going to be different, and I didn't want to invest the money in treating this room, and I got to take it all down, and in some cases I may not be able to use the stuff that I used before, so it just made no sense to do that. I would rather buy everything one time for the room that I know I'm going to be in permanently, versus buying this, treating this, and we're going to be leaving soon, and I got to tear it all down, and chances are I won't be using it again. Down below is just subs, and you know, I got a controller in there. I think that's the Newmark controller in there, and then I got another, what is that? God, I can't even think. Pioneer controller and stuff like that, and then, you know, CDJs and all those things, you know, the CDJ 2000s. So stuff like that. I think I did one on those speakers that I use. They're okay. And that's the original Music Alliance Festival poster. If you came out to any of our concerts or shows that we do out here in Illinois, that was the very first festival poster that, you know, we ever had. Now it's way bigger. It's designed different. The logos are different. But I keep this one for nostalgia reasons, because this was the first one. This is the one that kicked it off years ago. So, and then that's the Sterling, which you saw, you know, just on the other side with the the chaotic eyeball. So, yeah, man. Trying to keep my fingers out but I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed this. If you got any questions about anything, forget the head. I usually have a hat on. You know, I gotta go get a haircut and all that good stuff. But if you guys got any questions about anything, or anything that I've shown you in the video, things that I may not have shown you in the video that you might have been interested in, you know, I kind of ran through it and all this kind of stuff. But please like and subscribe where I can keep doing this, because I believe that's why YouTube is giving me the issues. Forgive the video for being so long. I'm 5 minutes over, and I really want to do this at 23 minutes. So, man, please like and subscribe and follow, and hit me up. Follow me on www.smokininc.com, SMOKININC.com. Derek, DEREK Jones, JONES on Facebook. Derek Smokin Jones, DEREK SMOKIN Jones. Google me. Follow me on Mixcloud, SoundCloud, all those good places. And I'm out.